Never too early to look ahead. The Warriors are your title favorites, your betting favorites for next season. The Celtics are second, and your Brooklyn Nets are third. Rough series overall. We've come a long way. Feels like forever ago that we were bickering about the best player in the series in general and the best player in the series so far.
Lord have mercy.
Tatum went in the opposite direction. He exited that conversation.
He did.
Or more specifically, he threw that conversation away. Sorry, I don't mean to pile on.
That's good.
I do not mean to pile on. But I mean, honestly, we talked about how these guys are different. Don't say what they can't do. You know, they use criticism to fuel them. He's gonna be in the gym this summer, and he's gonna be working on his passing and his playmaking. I mean, Ime Udoka turned him, and Jaylen Brown for that matter, into more of a playmaker this season than he had ever been.
And they struggled
so I imagine there's still room for growth in that area. Yeah, so there's still room for growth in that area.
They couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. Like through 47 games, they were 23 and 24. You guys know that stat. You've heard it many times. And part of it was they were trying to do what Ime Udoka wanted them to, and it was a different way. It was a different way to play. It was a different layer, a different channel, and they just couldn't get there. And it was an evolution. Jayson Tatum.
They got here. You think they're gonna be back? Oh, I'm sorry.
Do I think they'll be back? Yeah, I think they'll be back. I do. Jayson Tatum actually evolved throughout the season and throughout this series. So his turnovers, everybody talks about the turnovers. It set a finals record for most turnovers. Also, in the playoffs, it set a postseason record for most turnovers.
Like 100 turnovers, yeah.
So he finished this postseason with the most turnovers, the most points, and the most assists. So we talk about the turnovers, but the points and the assists are there too. He played a lot of basketball, and give the Warriors credit for some of his problems. Some of his problems were the Warriors just kind of hedging their bets. Said, okay, you got Jayson Tatum. They don't really have a true point guard, even though in all respect to Marcus Smart. They don't have a true quarterback at point guard. Maybe we don't either, but we got Steph Curry, game changer, and we got Draymond, who's kind of like a point guard, big man. But the Celtics don't have anybody who can just calm them down. So if they're going to put the ball in Tatum's hands, yes, we know his assists have gone up, but he's not that guy. And if we just crowd him, who's going to kill us? Who's their Klay Thompson? Al Horford could get hot. We can live with that. Jaylen Brown, good three-point shooter. Grant Williams, good three-point shooter in the regular season, not a factor in this. Derek White, streaky. So they really they did a great job of saying, hey, Tatum is going to be the center of everything we do, and we just go frustrate the hell out of him. And they did. So he took a lot of criticism. Some of it's deserved, but some of the criticism for Jayson Tatum is really a criticism of the roster construction of the Celtics, or the lack of maturity on the Celtics. They didn't know what to do once their leading scorer kind of got put in idle. They didn't know how to bail him out.
Okay, lack of maturity, lack of a poor that's not a poor roster construction, but just say personnel. Because, I mean, it was a good enough roster that a lot of people thought they were more talented than the Warriors coming into this series or even going out of this series. They were the more talented team for whatever that's worth. So I don't want to say they were poorly constructed. And exploiting a flaw, exploiting a deficiency.
Some of their deficits,
and that came back to bite them in this matchup. The thing I didn't hear you say, which a lot of people say it though, is calling Jayson Tatum a 10-man. That I won't go there. I won't say that he has no heart. I'm not going there. Because I think he does have heart. And we spent the last 30 minutes talking about Magic Johnson. Wasn't that long ago he was Tragic Johnson?
I know.
But honestly, Michael, I'm not even gonna let it fluster me or frustrate me.
It does. It gets to me.
But it's a rite of passage. But don't let it get to you though, because all the great ones got to go through it.
That's right.
All the great ones' heart get questioned. The great ones.
Bobby Blue Bland, you got to go through it to get to it. That's right.
Come on now.
Exactly.
All the great ones. People question Michael Jordan. He can get his, but he can't make his teammates better. You know, Kobe Bryant, I can't win without Shaq. You know,
here's a stat.
Magic, Tragic Johnson, come on, all of them. Steph,
You wanna hear it?
Steph before last night was still hearing stuff from people.
You want to hear a great stat? I just thought about this. I was looking it up the other day. In the last 30 years, so Jayson Tatum is 24 years old. In the last 30 years, players who profile like Jayson Tatum, lead dog on a championship team. I'm saying it that way because there are some, you can look at this stat pretty closely and you can say, what about that guy, what about that guy? But I'm saying, lead dog, the face of a franchise on a championship contender. Only 2 guys in the last 30 years have won championships at the age of 24 or younger with that profile. Tim Duncan, in lockout year, 1999, he had David Robinson. He was 22. And Dwayne Wade, 2006, he was 24. He had Shaq.
Yeah.
Like, no, in 30 years.
Right.
This is the league. This is how it works. And shame on me, again, for thinking that, hey, we're at Disney
they
and our money, we can cut the line.
the fast pass.
We're going to cut the – no, you ain't cutting the line. Sit down there. Get back there. You got to go through this.
Call LeBron James.
Yeah,
ask him about 2011.
Michael didn't do it.
Ask him, no, but in terms of like the criticism of like, oh, you ain't got no heart, or you ain't a dog, or you ain't that guy.
Right.
I mean, or hell, ask Giannis. Hey, I know Giannis don't like to kind of like, commiserate with his contemporary. But just didn't do it, but what they heard on the way to doing it. They all were told that what they never could be or couldn't be or what they weren't until they did it. All of them. Again, Steph just now shutting people up today after all that he's done. You always going to have people that find ways to tear you down. And I ain't even talking about the media. A lot of people like to say, oh, it's the media. No, it'd be random people, random ass people on Twitter. Ain't got shit going for themselves. Can't do nothing in their lives.
They worse than the media.
They worse than us. They're way worse than us. They're way worse than us. You know why they worse than us? Because they get to throw stones and hide their hand. They ain't on YouTube or the internet, or there ain't nobody pulling up their freezing cold takes to say, oh, remember when you got? No, they ain't at the podium. Or they ain't at the press conference. They ain't got to look these dudes in the face. They get to say how trash they were and then wear their jersey when they win a championship. Right. But I digress. The only reason I hesitate to think that the Celtics are going to get back is because, and it goes to show you just how hard it is to do with what LeBron did for a decade straight, what the Warriors have done for the better part of the last decade.
Just keep getting there.
It's hard to get there. Sometimes you only get one chance at this. Sometimes you only get one shot, so don't miss your chance. You know, like, sometimes you don't get a shot at all. Is Jayson Tatum better than Paul George?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
You don't?
I don't think. No, I'm talking about. I don't mean now. I don't mean right now. I mean like Paul George at the peak of Paul George powers, like Indiana Paul George.
Yeah, I think so.
Or even Clippers Paul George at various stages. I don't think so. I think Paul George is a superior defensive player to Jayson Tatum.
Really?
And defensively, offensively, I probably go with Tatum.
Mr. Analytics. Haven't you studied the analytics say different? Are you kidding me? Are you about to bash analytics and say that they got it wrong? Analytics loves Jayson Tatum.
This year, yes. Paul George. I'm talking about Paul
Number
George.
One in the league.
I'm not comparing them this year.
Should have been
Indiana.
Should have been defensive player of the year over Marcus Smart.
Wait, no, I'm not even talking. See, that's my fault. That's my fault. I asked for that. Paul George never got past LeBron is what I'm saying.
Right.
Okay? Paul George still ain't got to the finals. Jordan Embiid ain't got to the finals.
Who's Tatum have to get by?
Giannis? Is Giannis done?
That he hasn't. No, I'm saying, but that he hasn't. You said Paul George never got by, but he's gotten by.
Never did. He has now, but that doesn't mean he will for years to come.
I would say
he got by him in a 7-game series. Durant's not done. Please don't laugh. But Durant's not done. The Nets still exist. Okay, so my point is there are no guarantees.
Kevin Durant? No,
just because they're young and talented and have a bright future doesn't mean that things are going to break right. I'm not here to be a Debbie Downer, but it doesn't mean that things are going to break right and that they're going to get there just because you're young with your whole career ahead of you.
You can't say nothing that will depress them more than what they're already feeling today after being up, and it's one of just, and this is why the Post-it.
2-1.
This is why I got to remember the Post-it. That Post-it going forward. Yeah. Series dynamics. Okay, today is Friday. Okay, today is Friday. 1 week ago, Michael Smith. 1 week ago, the Boston Celtics had a 2-1 lead on the Warriors
just a week ago.
With the ball and a 5-point lead in 5 minutes to go in Game 4. That was their peak. 5 minutes to go, 5-point lead, got the ball. They lose the ball, of course. There you go. Let's keep that going. They lose the ball, they lose the lead, they lose that game, and they didn't win again. So
they did not win again.
And
this did not look like a kind of series where somebody was going to win 2 straight, let alone 3 straight.
3 straight.
Like, I mean, just all the things that we thought going in during the series, it's like, and you know what? We'd be remiss. We talked about Klay's miraculous comeback. We talked about Klay and the competitor that he is. Probably, I'm not saying he's the best number 2 in NBA history, but he's the most ideal wingman. Like, is there a better sidekick in terms of just like understanding who you are?
Right.
Because he's one of the greatest shooters of all time in his own right.
Right.
Game 6 Klay is a thing. The performances that he's had, and yet he ain't writing no books and doing no podcasts 20 years from now about y'all was so infatuated with Steph Curry until I ain't get my just due. Klay ain't doing that. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Klay is incredible, and everybody loves them some Klay. Holy cannoli, what a story. What an inspirational story.
Hey, thanks for watching Brother from Another on YouTube. Make sure you hit subscribe before you leave, and be sure to watch us 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Peacock. Appreciate you.